All right. Thank you. So we'll get started. So a warm welcome to all of you who are here with us today. So I'd like to wish you Maori, Bula, Malo, Talofa, hello and welcome. We're very glad that you could join us for this information session today. It's information session number 2 on the Pacific Greenpreneurs Incubator program, which we're running for 2023. So if you haven't had a chance, if you're interested in more information on the program, we can also share in the chat the link for the recording for the first info session. We'll be covering slightly different items today, which we'll mention. So this session will be run by my colleague Rashika and I, and it'll be about an hour in length. And we'll just go through the agenda and housekeeping rules. So great, so yeah, we're doing the welcoming now, and we'll just very briefly go into an overview of the incubator program. I believe we have one of our wonderful Greenpreneurs alumni who will be able to hear from shortly, and then we'll spend most of the time for the session on how to apply and actually going through the application form and showing you some tips and tricks for those of you who are looking to apply to our program, which we hope a lot of you are. And we'll have some time at the end for question and answer. So please keep your microphone on mute when you're not speaking. And if you have a question, please type it in the chat box. We'll get to the questions at the end, but you can start asking them in the chat box now. The session is being recorded. It's also being put live on Facebook Live, and we'll also be uploading it to the Pacific Greenpreneurs page. In case of any technical issues, please contact Rashika or send a Zoom chat to Rashika Gownder. Great. Next. Okay, so before we get any further, what do we mean by green entrepreneurs or green business? For those of you who may not have seen how we, as the Global Green Growth Institute, define it. Sorry, I'm getting some. Let me just mute somebody else. Great, sorry. So what is a green entrepreneur or green business? We define green business as a purpose-driven enterprise. So any enterprise that's not just focused on creating wealth or creating income, but also at addressing an environmental or social or both issue in your community or your country. So what is an example of that? It could mean that you're a business that through the types of products or services that you offer, those themselves are green. For example, you might be someone who reuses waste materials to create new products, or you could be someone who offers green alternatives to products. For example, alternatives to plastic bags or disposable nappies and that kind of thing. Or you could be a business which kind of looks like a normal business in the traditional sense, but you might be investing the profits from your business into improving the environment, such as mangrove planting or tree planting. Or it could be that in your business operations, you purposefully create jobs for disadvantaged groups. For example, people with disabilities, youth in certain areas, or maritime communities, that kind of thing. So it's a very broad definition, and you can see some pictures on the screen as ideas. I think it's all about how you, as your business, you identify your mission, your vision, your purpose for being. Great. So now I'll hand over to my colleague Rashika to take us through the next slides.
Thank you, Esther. Just checking if you all are able to hear. Okay, we're getting some people saying that they cannot hear. Okay, someone say, okay, we're getting thumbs up. So I think this is not a technical issue from our end. So I'll continue. Just briefly telling you about what the Pacific Greenpreneurs Incubator program is. It is a 4-month free training and mentoring program designed to support green entrepreneurship, to build a robust and sustainable business model, and we provide the skills and tools as well, and also to build your confidence in implementing the model for success for your business. And some of the components of this is local workshops, which will be having kickoff workshops in the 6 countries. We have the virtual training, group coaching, individual coaching, mentoring programs, networking, which is also in country and virtual as well, plus the business plan competition, for which once you participate in the program, then you could be able to apply to win US $5,000 in seed grant funding. And this year we are targeting to reach 120 entrepreneurs, roughly so between 7 countries, it's 10 and 20 green enterprises in each country. For example, in PNG and Fiji, we're aiming for 20 participants in each country. So in terms of the timelines, we are currently accepting applications until the 30th of March. So you have 7 days to put in applications. And basically, we need participants to be able to commit to the 4-month program from late May until the end of August. We are looking at a day or roughly 8 hours per week of your commitment. And the program will kick off with the 2-day workshops in late May with in-country workshops. And the training, coaching, and mentoring will run from late May until the end of July. And the business plan competition submission would be in August, and the graduation and showcases. And of course, the very, very exciting moment of winners being announced for the US $5,000 in seed grants will be held in late 2023. So the timelines that you can see here, it could change slightly. And if it does, we would be communicating that with the applicants and participants. So moving on, I'd like to share my favorite slide for every time. So here we have some of the photos of the 2022 cohort winners and the graduates who graduated in February this year. And we are blessed and fortunate to have one of them join us today. And he would be telling us a little bit about his experience from our program. So now I would like to invite Robinson, who is here with us. He is the founder of Eagle Pativa Systems Limited in Papua New Guinea, and he had been part of the Incubator 2022 cohort and also was one of the seed grant recipients from PNG. So I'd like to now request Robinson. Over to you, Robinson. Okay, let us see if it's there.
Hi, Roshika. Can you see me there?
Yeah, we can hear you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, mind my background, but I'm on the road. That's why you will see some background there. Firstly, I would like to take this time to thank Roshika and Esther for giving me this opportunity to share a bit of experience on the Triple GI Incubator program. It is actually a very interesting program, and those of you who are interested, you are on the right wagon to be the next millionaires of the Pacific Islands. Just a brief on what I've learned. Actually, I started off my business back in 2012, but not until the incubator program. Then I realized how important it is to know all the aspects of how to run a green business. Taking us through the journey, there are some interesting topics that we learned, which really helped me to become what I am, and I'm not there, but I'm hoping that I'll be there soon. The key learnings that I've learned through the incubator program are the social lean canvas that guides you through all facets of your business startup. The theory of change explains how your business idea is expected to lead you through your development change. And then the business pitch, where it helps you to present your business idea into a reality. We have a vibrant team made up of Roshika and Esther and others. That's been very interesting to be part of this cohort, and I've learned a lot, and it is also helping me to develop my business, and I'm hoping that in the years coming, I will be there somewhere. I'm very appreciative of the team. Thank you for giving us this opportunity. Very much enjoyed the journey. So those of you who are on board, welcome on board and enjoy. There is so much fun in the program, especially interacting with other Pacific Islanders, learning what they do on the other side. So thank you again, and thank you for giving me this opportunity. Thank you, Roshika, and thank you, Esther.
Thank you very much, Robinson, for sharing your insights, and also for the kind words to the Pigeon team. We appreciate that, and I hope our participants who are online, and we would also be sharing this recording, they do feel inspired and would like to take the step forward to apply for the program and participate in that. So now I'll hand it back to Esther, who would take us through the eligibility criteria. Over to you, Esther.
Thanks, Roshika, and thanks so much, Robinson, for sharing your thoughts and input. Like, it's really great to hear, as Roshika said. So just to reiterate, today we're going quite quickly through what the program does cover, and we're focusing on how to apply, and just more tips and tricks around what we're looking for, and so that you can be successful in being part of our program. So if you have more questions about what the program actually covers, which Roshika covered very briefly before, I've typed in the chat the link to the first session recording, which you could refer to. So going through the eligibility criteria, as you can see on the screen. Oops, sorry, just a second. I'm going to see if we can see me and not Roshika. Spotlight. Okay. Never mind. So the lead applicant has to be a citizen of one of these 6 countries on the screen. So Fiji, Kiribati, Papua New Guinea, Samoa, Tonga, or Vanuatu. And you must be operating, or you must be planning to operate a for-profit business in one of these countries. So the same 6 countries: Fiji, Kiribati, PNG, Samoa, Tonga, or Vanuatu. So that means you could either have a business idea, but you haven't yet started, or you could already be operating a small business. And usually that's, you're quite in your early stages in the first couple of years of operations. So key to being successful in joining our program is you need to clearly show us that your business or your business idea has a green focus. So remember, as I mentioned before, a green business to us is environmentally focused and or socially focused. So tell us clearly how you have that focus. And the lead applicant must be at least 18. Yeah, and there can be other members of the team. In fact, we encourage teams of people to apply. Okay, and the next one, please. Let me just get to that. Okay, so we're shortly going to go, so from here we'll go through some documentation that you should gather first, but you probably have seen the flyer already, but just as a reminder, the Google form is, you need to apply online via Google Forms. and Rashika's just kindly put that in the chat. Thank you. So you can use that link and complete the Google form, and please make sure it's by the due date of the 30th of March. So we'll be closing it off at midnight Fiji time on the 30th of March. Great, and on the next one. All right, so before you actually, what we recommend is there are a few documents you will need to upload to the Google form. So what we recommend is you gather these documents ahead of time, so it's just quite easy and quick for you to complete the form. So it's not too many things, but there's a few things. So we need to have proof that the lead applicant is a resident of one of those 6 countries. Citizen. So it could be your passport biodata, a driver's license, voter's registration, or other form of national ID, depending on your country. And we would also need a copy of the CV or resume of the lead applicant. We also require you to have at least 1 photo uploaded, but it can be more of your team. So if you could be a team of 1, or you could be a team of more people. It could be a photo of your business logo, and ideally also a couple more photos, including the people in your business, so yourselves, and your business products or services as well. I think the minimum is 1 photo. And then the 4th one has a little asterisk, because it's only if this applies to you. If your business is registered, then please also upload the business registration certificate. Now, this is not a requirement for the purposes of applying to the program. However, it will be a requirement for participating later on in the program in the business plan competition, which is how you would be eligible to win the funds. So don't worry if you don't yet have a business registration. That's okay. You can do it over the next, once you're accepted into the program, that's fine. But if you do already have your business registration, then please upload the certificate as you apply. There's also a couple of other optional items to upload, which is a short 1-minute video of you and your team pitching your green business idea to us, because sometimes it's easier for people to explain what you're doing and your purpose and environmental focus via a video rather than writing it in words. We certainly encourage you to do that. Please do make sure that all the submissions are in English. And you also can attach, if you have other relevant documents you would like to share with us, if you've already developed a business plan previously, or you have a brochure or flyer for your business, then you're welcome to do that.
Recording in progress.
Great. Okay. So next, application form tips. So okay, I think that's been resolved. Apologies for that. Excellent. So as you can see on the screen, we need the lead applicant to fill in the form, because most of the information will be needed from the lead applicant. We also would like you have to confirm you have reviewed the application guidelines beforehand, that you meet the criteria, and that you know what you're getting, you're signing up for, basically. I will also just mention that if you do start filling in the form on Google, and as often happens in the Pacific, your internet connection is disrupted, don't worry, it should still be there. When you go back to the Google form, your answers that you filled in so far should still be there. However, we do still recommend that you prepare your answers beforehand, and you can copy and paste the answers into the form at one go. So you can refer to the offline version of the application form, which you'll be able to find on the online application form as well. Please do be aware of the maximum number of characters for each question, because especially if you are cutting and pasting, you may not realize that you go overboard and you may have to cut down. So please note that it is a maximum number of characters, not words, which Google Forms restricts by. So you'll see that there is a number of questions where there's a maximum of 500 characters. So just as a rough guide, if the question says maximum 500 characters, that's between 70 and 125 words. So it's 3 to 5 sentences. A few questions will allow you, if you want to provide more. So that like 750 characters, which could be 100 to, well, maybe 4 to 7 sentences. But we don't expect that you have to give us that much. That's just the maximum. So we're very happy for concise, precise answers to get your point across. But yeah, please just be aware of the maximum limits for characters. Also, if you do need to, you've submitted your application and later on you realize there's something that you've missed and you want to go in and update it, don't worry, you can do that as long as it's before the deadline, which is 30th of March. So once you submit the form, you will be given, you'll be automatically sent an email which has a link to your submitted form. So if you feel like you want to edit one of the answers, you don't have to start again from scratch and submit another form. Instead, go back to that email, click on the link, and then you can make the edits just directly for that question or two. And as long as it's before the closing deadline, that's fine. So yeah, as mentioned, try to keep your answers short, but please do show us, make it easy for us to see, what your business does, how your business is green, how you plan to grow your business, and how committed you are, how passionate you are about this social and environmental issue that you're working on. So we want to get to know you through the application form. We want to get to know who you are as an entrepreneur and a team, if you have a team, and an enterprise. So we don't expect you to have all the answers. It doesn't have to be perfect. We want to see a bit of who you are. We want you to be yourself. And I will just say, I've mentioned that you can provide us additional documentation, such as the video pitch, a short video pitch, or other documents. You can also share with us your social media links if you have them for your business, or other links that are relevant if you have a website, for example, because we do actually look through everything that you give us. So the more you give us, the more we'll be able to take into consideration as we go through the selection process. Okay, I think that's all I have got to say on that. So I think now, am I right? I'm handing over to Rashika to take us through the form.
Thank you, Esther. So before we jump into the form, I wanted to just show you the overview of the form. So in total, the form has 9 sections, and which is part A, B, C, and D. And I've got here on the screen. So we would want to know you better and about your business better. And in part A, we have, do you have what it takes to be a greenpreneur? And then we have information that we want on the lead applicant. And following that, we want to know about your green enterprise, and then we focus on the green focus in part D. And part E looks at the business growth, part F looks at your entrepreneurial mindset, and in part G, if you have additional team members, we would like you to state their details, just 3 details as well, so the questions are there. And in part H, you would be able to put in any other considerations. And part I basically looks at the closing. So now what we will do is we'll go through the application form, and the form link is here on the slide. We will just, okay. Thank you, Esther. So Esther is going to share the link of the application form. And now we are going to have a look at the form together, and we'll briefly show you how to fill in the form. So I'll just change my screen. Okay, I hope you can see my screen. All right. Okay, great. So I'll go pretty fast, and then we all will be given, it will be allowing you some question time as well. So as the application form states, there is a, the application closes on 30th of March, and that is 11:59 p.m. PG time. And so you will see here, well, I have pre-filled this form so for me to show it to you. And then, so on the application form, you can see that we have the offline form as well, a version of it. So please note that the offline form, let me show it to you as well. So this is the offline version of the form. This is only to prove as a guidance and not really for you to be filling it. It can just help you to go through the form, get a feel of what really do we have here in the form, and what are the questions. You may prepare some answers. And then, as Esther had mentioned during the application form tips, you may write the answers and then copy paste it onto the actual form when you're ready to submit it. And so we would want you to, and I must say that the form, this doesn't really look very pretty because it's just an extract from the Google form, and it can really look overwhelming as well because we have so many pages of this. So do not worry about that, as there would be some sections which will not apply to you and you wouldn't really need to fill that. And so here we have the application guidelines as well, and I'll quickly show you the guideline as well. And so please do go through this, as this has answers to the many questions that you would have. And so do go through this. It's got a lot of information that we have just shared and much more. And you can see the timeline, so are we looking for, and all the other details. The same application guideline has also been uploaded onto our website, and you would also be finding the links to this in our social media posts and all our mailing blast emails that we have sent out. So you can go through this. We highly, highly encourage you to go through this, because this is where all the answers are to any clarifications that you may be seeking. Okay, so now we'll go back to the form. And so you can see we have the application form, offline form here. We also have the link to the frequently asked questions as well. You can have a look at that. And then we have the application guidelines. So before you can proceed, I would like to mention that you need to confirm that you have gone through the guidelines, and then only you would be able to proceed. If you don't tick this, I will show you this. So if I click next, you wouldn't be able to go to the next page because this is a requirement. And then you would be able to go to the next page. So let us look at part A. So part A is basically, we are looking at what you have that it takes to be a greenpreneur. So these are, I will let you read this in your own time. So these are the things that we require you to have. I'll just touch upon something on the last point, like I have confirming that you have access to internet and a computer or tablet from May to August to attend the regular online webinars, to access the training modules, submitting exercises and business plan competitions online. So you would need to go through this, and if it's you meet this, then do apply for the program. So you need to tick all this and then confirm to be able to go to the next stage. And so this brings us to part B, which focuses on the lead applicant and the personal applicant of the lead applicant. So the lead applicant can be a founder who would basically, or a group, if there's a team, it could be one person that we would want all the details of. And also, so what I have done here is just to make things easier, I have just created a fictional business idea for myself. And so I have put in my name details. So these are just basic details. And example, if let's say my country is something else. So you will notice these little arrows here. You can change. You need to click onto this to be able to select different options. So you would be able to do that. And then you will need you to fill in all the other details. And in terms of uploading documents, so we require the lead applicant to upload their CV. And so all the documents that have this star here, the red star, it means the document is required. Those particular documents are required. And please be mindful of what can be the document that is to be uploaded, whether it's documents or an image or a PDF. And then we've also noted the file size. So, well, in this case, I have uploaded a document. So I'll show you how to edit that. Okay, so you'll click on Add File, and in this case, we'll just assume this is the document that I'm wanting to upload, and that's my CV. So you will just need to click, and then it gets uploaded. And so, as Esther explained, we also need a copy of the valid government-issued IDs. And so we'll also need you to upload that, as that's also a requirement. And you may insert your LinkedIn profile if you don't have this. So you can see that this one doesn't have the star. And that indicates that you would still be able to proceed without having to fill anything. So now we'll go to the next section, which is part C. And in this, we are basically wanting to know about your green business better. More like, what does your business focus on? And in this case, my business name that I have thought of is Adventures PNG. And you can select the country and all the other details, where is it located? And then we have the sector that applies to your enterprise product or services. So you need to click on the arrow, and then you can see that there's so many. So click onto whichever one you think is most relevant in this situation. For me, ecotourism is the most suitable one, so I have clicked that. And then this brings us to the next question. In this, we need you to describe your green business and the problem you're trying to solve for the customers. And so I must say that this part, we would really want you to focus on this and think, what really are you trying to do? And so whatever you write, it doesn't have to be too long. And you can see here that how I have just put in something really short. And we would also be using, if your applications are successful and you're one of our successful participants, this information will be also used as your enterprise bio for our Greenpreneurs website and also social media pages. You would be able to have a look at some of the examples by going onto our website, where on the tab where it says Meet the Greenpreneurs. So we have details for our Greenpreneurs there. So please keep this really brief and short. So you can note that we have a maximum 500 characters. How Esther had mentioned earlier, these are characters and not words. So please just take note of that. And then we have all the other little details. So I had a question in the chat. I think it was Albert. He was asking about the registration. So over here, you would be able to click. So it's yes, no, or currently in progress of registering. So let's say I say currently in process of registering. You don't really need to upload it over here. You just need to select. And then over here, it says, if your enterprise is registered, please upload the registration certificate or document. If it's registered, then please feel free to upload it. We would want to see the registration copy. And if it's not registered, do not worry about it. This doesn't have that red star as a requirement question. So it wouldn't stop you from moving to the next question or the next page. And then now we come to the part where we look at how does a business make or plan to make money. And so in my situation, I've just written, we provide day trips for guests at $100 a person, which also includes meals. And then I've also put in the number of guests that we're looking at. So we would want you to explain to us that you're operating a business for profit, or you're looking at operating a business for profit, and you're not a charitable organization or a trust, and you do intend to make money out of your business. So in this as well, please keep this just as a simple 1 or 2 sentences. And then also for the business account, it's not a requirement that you have a business account. So if you don't, do not worry about it. It's just that we are wanting to know whether you have it. And we just need this information to be filled. So in this case, let's say I choose, have not thought about opening it at this stage. And then we come down to our, how many employees do we have? So I have put in 10. Then from my employees of 10, how many are women? So I have 5. And then from my total employees of 10 people, we have 5 people who are below the age of 35. And I do not have any employees who are part of, who are identified as being disabled. You're not required, I mean, these questions do not really mean that, oh, you need some people who are disabled in your organization or something like that, or you need women or youths for a must. We're just trying to know more about the business. And then we have this question on whether this is a subsidiary of a controlling company, or does it have subsidiaries? So my business, I've chosen that it is a standalone operation. And so because I have answered no, then I do not need to fill the next question, and I have just put in not applicable there. Then I have the website. So we would like you to share your website and also social media page accounts so that we can go and have a look at as well and try and know your business better in case if you haven't really put the details properly. And it gives us a better feel and understanding of what really your business is all about. Over here, we'd like to see your team photos and your business photos. I must say that photos speak so much more words than what words can speak. So in this, we would want to see if you have a business logo, please do upload it. And in case if you don't worry at all about it. You can upload the other documents, such as probably you've got a team photo. If you're thinking of probably your business is not really, doesn't really have a product, but it's in the process of doing it, you can put in some prototype photos. So in this part, we would like, we are allowing a maximum of 3 photos, and please note the file size. If it's exceeding, it wouldn't really upload, and you would have issues in submitting this. So over here, you'll see that I have added 3 files. And this part is a requirement field, whether you need to upload the photos. And as Esther had mentioned earlier about the optional 1-minute video, if you have that, then you may actually upload that. We do recommend you taking out the time to do this if you have the time. So this will basically, in this, it'll show the passion you have for your green business and why are you doing your green business. So it's sometimes easier to show who you are than putting things on paper. So if you're able to, please do give this a go as well and include the 1-minute video. And in this section, if you have anything else that you want to share with us, probably in case the 3 documents that you uploaded here, when you still wanted to share some more stuff, you can put things in here as well. Probably you have a brochure or something that you want to share with us, or a business plan, or any other document that you'd like to share with us. So you may put that in here. And then we'll move to the next section, which is on green focus. And so please be over here. We'd like to know the positive impact you're making, and note the definition that Esther had explained earlier during the presentation. And so focus on how your business is addressing social and environmental issues while making money or a profit. So in this, we have maximum of 750 characters. And some of these questions may feel like a repetition when you're writing your answers, but I'll just explain the differences. So in the first one, you're clearly telling us what issue you're trying to address. And example, in my business, I'm trying to tackle the issue of unemployment and social problems which are attached to unemployment. And the business idea also has in this, the tour includes tree planting. So it's also addressing things like that. And it's generating incomes as well. So in the next question, we'd like to know, why are you passionate about solving this environmental or social problem? Well, in this question, you may explain what makes you want to do this business? And what's your passion and drive for this? So again, this is 500 characters. So we encourage you to please be mindful of the characters. And then moving on, how does your business help to solve this environmental or social issue in your country or region? What changes will happen if you're successful? And in this, we are allowing you to write 750 characters. And then we'd like to know, how is your business different from the others who may be doing something similar? So in this, please be as specific as you can. And you may mention, probably there are other people, example, if you're in my situation, well, I wrote that we are different from all the other businesses, but then in case if you have some competitors, you may write how is your business unique from your competitors. And then this takes us down to now, which of the following groups does your enterprise specifically work with? You may be working with a number of different groups. And so when we say support and employ, we are basically looking at how, or we mean either you directly employ people from these groups. Example, in my business, I'm looking at employing women to be cooking food, and how they're supplying your inputs, or how your business profit that you might be doing something for these groups. Also, example, you may be giving a certain percentage of your profit into education funds for young girls, or you're building toilets or something in particular for the community. So you can actually, so in this situation, for me, I would select rural maritime communities, girls and women, youths. So if you are supporting these groups, do let us know. And if you're not, that's totally fine as well. So we would want to know this as well. And then describe how your enterprise works with the above mentioned group. So example, I selected youths, and then I've mentioned that the youths are providing tour guiding services to the guests, while the women are providing meals and also handicrafts. In terms of like rural maritime communities, the business is located in a rural community. So just explain to us how really are you supporting this group? And then we'll move to the next question. So the next section talks about your business growth. And so we need you to just tell us which category do you fall in, under which of the stages your business is in. So let's say if you say initial stage, we've given a little definition here as well. Example, if your business is in initial stage, you've done no or little research for your business, or if you were operating and then due to COVID-19 or whatever reasons you have closed temporarily. So do mention that. And or just started operating on a small scale. And we would like to know your average annual sales revenue in USD over the past 2 years. It doesn't really need to be exact. We are working with 6 countries, so we could not really put in details for like all different 6 countries. So we would like to know in USD. So example, if you are generating $20,000 Fijian, please go ahead to this link here and then convert and click whichever selection that suits you the most. If you're not generating an income, you may select that you're generating none, and you may select this first option here. Moving on, what are your goals, ambitions for your business? Where do you see your business in 1 and 5 years from now? And also in this, we want you to be specific. And what is your vision for your business? And how are you looking at growing your business? So, and how realistic do you think it is to be able to achieve this? So it would be good if you put in numbers if you can, and it doesn't have to be exact, even it's just a forecast. Then we'll move on to the next section, which is section F, which talks about the entrepreneurial mindset. And over here, we want you to tell us, why are you interested in joining our program? And also we have, how do you look at gaining the most from the program? And in this, you may select 3 options. And then the last question in this section is, what are the key challenges you're currently facing in achieving your business ambitions and goals? So moving on, in terms of the additional team members, if you're a team of people, and when I say team, this does not include people who are employed by the business in paid employment. And then you may select, so if you don't have a team, you can select no. And if you have a team, you have founders, you may select this first option. And I'd like to just highlight that we really encourage teams to participate together in programs, as they are able to develop better business ideas. The more people we have, the more different skills and ideas can be generated. And for this program, you can have at least a team of 5. So that includes the lead applicant. In my scenario, I have chosen myself as the lead applicant, and then plus you would have 4 additional team members. It doesn't really necessarily have to be exactly 5. So for me, I have 2 founders. So I'm the lead applicant, and then I have 1 more co-founder. So we'd like to briefly know a little bit more about the founders. So in my business, Esther is my founder. So we'll just need to put her email address, identity, her age, and does she identify as a person with disabilities, and what is her time commitment. So I have filled in that, and for me, my business only has me and her. So we will just keep all these parts. You do not need to fill this. And in case if you do have more people, then you can fill that in. And in case if you're a sole trader, you can skip this whole section, like all these questions, and move on. and go ahead. Okay, so we'll go to the next section now, which is other considerations. So we'd like to know if you have participated in any other programs or not. So if you have, it could be programs, entrepreneurial programs, such as being part of the AWE, in PGV, the ILO programs, or any other programs that you have been part of. And if you have, we'll just want to know the program name, the dates you participated in, and what type of a program was it. Or if you are currently doing that, you can state that, or you plan to be participating in another program. We'd also like to know that. And then if you're planning to participate in another program, we'd want to know how do you think you would be able to balance participating in our program if chosen, and then also participating in the other program that you have mentioned. And then we have this legal question. Have you or your business ever been involved in any legal proceedings, which could be court cases? If you haven't, then you may select no, and if you have, you may select yes. And we'd want you to just explain the nature of the proceedings. Could be more like legal charges that have been brought against you or your business. We'd want you to briefly just mention that as well. And then we'll move to the next part, which is the closing. And we just want to know, do you have had any relationship previously with the GDGI? And you can select yes or no. And in my case, I just professionally just wrote that I was a guest speaker. If you have been a guest speaker or you have joined at something else, you can mention. And this is one of my favorite questions that I usually look forward to the response for. How did you first hear about the Greenpreneurs Incubator program? So we have a number of items here. We'll want you to go through it and then select the one that is most suitable. And then, is there anything else you'd like to tell us about your business? So if there was anything you did not get the opportunity to fill in the form throughout the form, you may write that here. And I mean, for me, I just wrote, we have recently been provided a local tourism award. And please follow us on social media and spread the word about this business, as I wasn't able to write about that earlier on. So you may write something like that. And then we have the personal data details here. This is a standard GDGI rule on protection of personal data. And so please be assured that the documents that you share with us and the data that you share with us, it is safe and kept confidential. And we are seeking your concern to process the personal data that you provide us, and only the judges and selected people would have access to the information that you provide, and all of them would be signing declaration of confidentiality. So that brings us to the end of filling this form. And once you have filled it in, you can have a look, have a read, and then you may click the submit button. I won't click the submit button as this was just a fictitious business I was just trying out this form. And once you submit, you should be able to get an email on the email that is specified in the beginning of the form with the link to the editable form. And so you would be able to edit your form before the closing of the application deadline. And yeah, so that brings me to the end of this. And now we'll allow you to ask us any questions that you may have. And I'll just go back to my slide. I know this really sounded to be a lot. I hope I wasn't too fast and you were able to keep track and able to understand as well.
Thank you, Rishika. So that was a very comprehensive review of the form, and I hope you can take note of some of the tips there. Basically, we just want to make it as easy for you as possible to help us to get you into the program. So I think we've answered a lot of the questions in the chat, and we'll go through. There's a few more that have just been popping up, so please do type your answers in the chat. Now, there's been a bit of a technical issue where a lot of people have entered the program, today's session with the incorrect name, which makes it a little hard to know who to call on for people with raised hands. So I can see there is one hand raised, but that's not that person's real name. So if you know who you are and you'd like to unmute and answer and ask your question, then please go ahead. Okay, maybe not. All right, so we'll go through, there's a few questions in the chat. Maybe I'll start with a few and then hand over to you, Rishika, so you can catch your breath. So I can see there is a question of one person from the Solomon Islands and asking about the countries. Unfortunately, this time around, we will not, so far in the Solomon Islands is not included in this program. I'm very sorry about that. We are looking to, we're hoping that we can expand to the Solomon Islands for next year. So please do, keep us in mind and look out for our future information. But you would not be eligible for this year's program. Great, I see comments. There's been comments about the recordings, and we will share the recording of this session and also the first info session recording, which had a bit more information about the program itself and how that will run. We'll share the links to everybody who registered with for Zoom today, and we'll also be sharing the link on the GGI Pacific Facebook page. Great, so I've got another message. Someone messaged me personally. Is this grant scheme towards sole traders only to apply? Can I apply on behalf of a project I'm managing? So it is not just for sole traders, it is for small businesses who are impact driven. So it's not just a grant scheme. You would have to go through an incubator program of which has different components of training, mentoring, coaching, networking, and business plan competition. So, and then winners of the business plan competition will be given seed grant funding. So if you are, if it sounds like this would be useful to you, if your business is in one of the 6 countries, so just as a reminder, that's Fiji, Kiribati, Papua New Guinea, Samoa, Tonga, and Vanuatu, and meets the eligibility requirements, then you can certainly apply. Question from Rossi. The meeting from May to August, is it virtual or face-to-face? So that's a good question. So we start with kickoff meetings, kickoff workshops at a country level, which we request, if you're able to join in person. That's a 2-day meant to be in-person workshop, although there may be possibility that you can join in virtually for that. That's 2 days at the start of the program, which is likely to be late May. However, beyond that, there will be virtual sessions on a weekly basis. So similar to this, there'll be a Zoom call, generally like a 2-hour Zoom call at a regular time to cover a module each week. There's a question, is there any application fee, from Michelle? No, there's no application fee, so go for it. There's a question, how many will be selected from each country? So that's a good question. So the exact numbers may change slightly. but we're looking to have approximately maybe around 15 to 20 from Fiji and Papua New Guinea as part of the cohort for this year, and around maybe 10 to 12 from the other 4 countries. So that's Kiribati, Samoa, Tonga, and Vanuatu. Great. Okay, and then I think Hasmukh is asking if to ask a question, if that's right, as I'm unable to type. So yeah, Hasmukh, if you're able to ask a question, please go ahead.
Hi, thank you for that. I would like to ask if through this program we are able to access donor agencies or foreign governments who have policies in their own country about carbon footprint, etc., where they would like to offset it with smaller countries like ourselves in Fiji or all those island nations here.
Thank you for the question. That's a very good question. We don't currently have any sort of structured component of linking businesses with like foreign governments at this stage. It's not to say it's not something we would not look into, but it's not likely to be a structured part of the program.
One more. There's always an ad in the paper, or quite often in Fiji, about this program called RED Plus, or is it REDD Plus, something to do with the environmental environment in donor agencies or foreign governments involved in it. Does anyone know more about it and how we can link with that, with this program?
So I'm Krishnil with the team. So I think RED Plus mostly concentrates on forestry, and within the Fijian government, it's handled by our Ministry of Forestry. That's as far as I know.
Thanks, Krishnil. Yeah, so we don't specifically have a partnership with that program, but certainly it's a good one to bring to our attention. Thank you. Great. Right, thanks for the question. Great, and I think we've got another question in the chat from Jacqueline. I wanted to ask, what happens after we've submitted the application, and what is the procedure of picking the successful applicants? So that's a good question. So once the applications are closed, we first go through, our team goes through a screening process, and we check firstly which of the businesses who applied have met the eligibility criteria, and we hope you've all clearly understood, and we hope that all of you are. And then once we've done that stage, we have an independent selection committee made up of Global Green Growth Institute, our colleagues, and also our implementing partners in different countries. And we'll basically independently score the applications. We usually also have a shortlisting process in there. So we'll basically go through and review, and we'll put together all the scores, and we have our evaluation criteria is kind of basically what we've sort of been saying today. So just to make sure I say it exactly right, I'm just going to quickly check. So the 4 areas of our assessment criteria are around the green business focus. So you really, please clearly tell us how you are environmentally and or socially focused. We're also looking at business growth potential. We're looking at your entrepreneurial mindset. So how passionate you are about, your business and joining the program and learning and sharing. And also social inclusion, so particularly of women and youth, but also with disabilities and other disadvantaged groups as well. So yes, that's the process of the evaluation, and then we'll be notifying the successful applicants and confirming the participation in the program, which is, don't exactly have the time frame, probably late April or early May, I would think. I don't exactly have the date in front of me. I hope that's helpful. I think I have covered all the questions, and if I've missed your question, then please ask it again or raise your hand because I can't see others. Okay, there's one more question. Can today's presentation be shared? Okay, so the document, the actual slide deck to be shared. Yes, we can. Yeah, we can share that, a link to that along with the link to the recording. Thank you. Excellent. Are there any further questions? Okay, great. Well, I think we've now, this is a good point to wrap up. I'll hand over to Rishika to end off our session.
Thank you, Esther. And so we have come to the end. And very briefly, let me just wrap up. So on behalf of GGI and the Pacific Greenpreneurs Network team, I'd like to convey our appreciation to our program donor, Qatar Fund for Development, for making this program possible. Also our partners in the different countries, and our greenpreneur Robinson, who had joined us to share his insights on our program and his experience on the program. And I haven't forgotten you all, audience, who have joined this session to make it a success. So this brings us to the end of the session, and we will be emailing you the recording for this session, and also will include the link to the slideshow as well for your reference. And we highly encourage you to prepare ahead of time and then send in your application. So you basically have 7 more days to go. Thank you so much.